Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we are here for another severe weather breakdown. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with the SPC outlook for today, we have a slight risk of severe weather here down in the Texas region, as well as including southeast Oklahoma, southwest Arkansas, and northwest Louisiana. So let's go ahead and break down the threats that this brings. Now starting off with the tornado threat for today, very low, no tornadoes expected as of right now, but what I would like to say is that just yesterday they were forecasting a 2% risk for tornadoes here in northeast Texas. So I would look out for a potential tornado coming through this region, but if there was one, it would just be a very brief spin up. It wouldn't do too much. Now moving on to the damaging wind threat, we do have a 15% risk of wind gusts of 60 miles an hour here, especially near the DFW region. So Waco, DFW, Lufkin, Austin, and more, you all have a 15% chance to see very strong wind gusts today, so do look out for that. Hail threat, we have a hatched risk for hail. This is the most concerning thing of the day. We have a hatched risk of hail for Waco and Dallas. So, if you are in the brown, you have a 5% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger. If you're in the yellow, you have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger. But if you're in the yellow with the line circle here, then that's a 15% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger. And we could see hail up to baseball size or larger tonight down here in this region, so we need to really be looking out for this. Last night we saw some gigantic hail up to 4 inches, up to softball size here in this region, and more could fall tonight, so we do need to be looking out for that. Now moving on to tomorrow, we already have a marginal risk of severe weather down here in south central Texas, so let's go ahead and break down the threats that this brings. Now starting off with the tornado threat for tomorrow, very low, no tornadoes expected as of right now. Damaging wind threat, we do have a 5% risk of wind gusts of 60 miles an hour here, which is what's driving our marginal risk for severe weather for tomorrow, so do look out for that. And then for the hail threat, we also have a 5% risk to see hail of 1 inch or larger, and a little bit of a smaller area here, but it does include Austin, so do look out for that. Moving on to Tuesday here, we already have 2 marginal risks of severe weather. One is down here in southeast New Mexico and west Texas, and then one is here in the Midwest, including portions of central Illinois, southeast Iowa, and northeast Missouri going into central Missouri. So do look out for that on Tuesday. Now moving on to the National Hurricane Center here, we have tropical depression, the remnants of it anyway, Ophelia here, only bringing in 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts as of right now, and it is going to dissipate soon. So Delmarva, you might feel some slight effect from this, but really it's going to be no different from any other storm you've ever been in before. So I wouldn't worry too much about Ophelia at this point. It will continue to travel just a little bit, but it's not going to do anything too crazy. Now we do have a disturbance here that we really need to watch. It has a 10% chance to form the next 48 hours and a 40% chance to form the next 7 days. And as of right now, if this does form, it could definitely make landfall somewhere here near New England, similar to the location where we saw Hurricane Lee make landfall. So we really need to be watching out for this, because it is just off the coast of Africa, which is where most of the major hurricanes that hit the U.S. form. Now, Tropical Storm Philip here, we are going to talk about more later, but it is currently a tropical storm, and we need to be watching it very closely, and I'll explain why later. Eastern Pacific here, we have Tropical Depression 14E that will stay a depression, and then eventually in its lifetime, somewhere here southeast of Hawaii, so Hawaii, don't worry about this. Now moving on to the tracks for Ophelia and Philip. So we'll start off with Ophelia here. It is currently a 25-mile-per-hour storm here just northeast of Richmond, and will continue to head off to the north and the east. And in its lifetime here near the Delmarva region as a 35-mile-per-hour storm. But this might be slightly out of date, so we need to make sure that we're getting accurate information here, because it really might not reach the Delmarva region. We don't know. It could possibly re-strengthen just a little bit here and hit Delmarva as a tropical depression, but it's looking iffy if it's going to make landfall in this region, okay? So we need to be watching out for this still, but it's not a giant concern. And this does just barely extend up to the south side of Wilmington, so look out in that region for some potential effects as well. But after it reaches Delmarva, nowhere else needs to be worried about a landfall. It is just going to completely get out of there, and my thing is glitched for some reason. I'm really not sure why. okay. Okay, is it gonna work? Okay, it is. My bad. So next up, we do have Tropical Storm Philip down here. Right now, Philip is a tropical storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds, expected to head out west, then go northwest here, and it is expected to make an impact to Bermuda here. We can't really tell when yet, but it's definitely going to. As of right now, it's looking like. So by the time it reaches this area, it will have 65-mile-per-hour winds, and then keep going this way, and we'll probably have Bermuda in the cone of uncertainty at some point. So Bermuda, be looking out for this thing. You guys have gotten slapped by strong tropical storms, even some hurricanes this year, and I feel like nobody focuses on you enough. Lesser Antilles might feel some very light rainfall in this region whenever it reaches over here, but it will just be a tropical storm, and it's not going to make landfall here, so it's not going to be a big deal. But we do need to keep watching this for a potential U.S. landfall. Now, finishing off with watches, warnings, and advisories, we do have some flood advisories, flood watches, flood warnings still in effect for the remnants of Ophelia here. So look out. I needed to clear my throat. So look out in that region there. Southwest Missouri, same thing. Southeast Oklahoma, same thing. And then we've got heat advisories scattered across a good portion of central Texas here, all the way down into Corpus Christi, back up through to the DFW region, and even north of that. And then we do have some red flag warnings here in the mountain region, as well as the northwest. And then air quality alerts in effect for a decent portion of California here, specifically central California. So look out for that. But other than that, pretty calm right now. We do have some strong thunderstorms that are warranting some special marine warnings down here near Florida. But other than that, not much to talk on. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.